in. We're now going to do that activity again here, here, and here. In SafeSys, we had it as a SharePoint, which made it difficult for searching for different types of activities. Saloose makes the searching through filters a little bit easier for you, and SafeSys allowed incomplete activities to be submitted, whereas you need to make sure that in Saloose we'll go through all those processes and you can actually have your documentation approved before you go out and conduct the field work. So what we're going to do now is we will watch the video on how to create an activity, and then I'll go and do it in the test system. Just let me know. Hang on, I'll press play. Can you all hear the sound? Did you just hear the voice?
Oh, I can't hear any sound, Alex.
Okay, so this is going to be interesting. How do I make sure that I'm sharing with sound? Let me cancel that. Let me see if it's a share option, because if this is in Zoom, you've got to select something else as well. Let me just, there we go, there's a button. Try this one now. Let's full screen it. And please confirm if you can hear the sound or not.
I think you've got to reshare, Alex.
Is it not shared? Can you hear it though?
No.
But you still can't hear it?
No.
Okay. Oh, hang on. Bear with me. Bear with me. How is that? Can you hear it now?
No.
Can you hear it, Paul?
No. We're just looking.
Now I can't hear anybody. Okay. And my camera stopped working. So this is interesting. All right, Lani, can you turn your mic on for me?
Hi, Alex.
Okay, now I can't hear anybody at all. Bear with me. I'm going to have to drop out and drop back in again. I'll be back as soon as possible, everybody.
Is Alex there?
She needed to relog.
Yeah,
so
that's all I can see is frozen, so I didn't know if she logged back in or not.
Not yet.
That was it. I can see on my share, if I hit share, there's the top button that says include computer audio. I'm wondering if she can do that. She comes back on if that works.
Probably should tell her when she comes back.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
The joys of electronics, right?
So true. Let's see if it will work for me. She gave me the link. Can anybody hear the sound?
No sound, Lani.
Okay. So it's the same.
The other hack that Larnie I've done is, I don't know if you've got headphones plugged in and maybe that bothers everybody else, but unplug your headphones and then the audio comes through your mic.
Okay. I'm in an office
Yep.
office space, but yeah, let's do.
They all should be at that training, shouldn't they? Does that work better?
No,
No.
still can't hear it, Lani. I do know with these headset mics, you've got to have them very close to the speakers, or they won't, or they'll just filter it out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be using your headset mic anymore. Do you want to send it to me, Larnie? I'm at home, so I don't mind blasting things. I can try it here and see if I can get it to audio. Maybe if you post it into the chat, we all can just watch it.
Okay, will do. I'll send it now.
Hi, Larnie. I've received a PowerPoint, but it's not a video that this is like it's playing, but there's no audio associated with it that I can hear on mine.
It's on page 12 of the PowerPoint.
Page 12, okay. It just automatically started playing for me. Let me see where I don't really want it in Teams. Download.
Running off my phone because Teams is not computing on my computer at all. So I'm going to. This is just dynamite. I've already restarted, but I'm going to have to shut down and restart again. So I do apologize. Came in early to make sure this all worked too. Start with the live environment. The test environment.
How to create an activity. In this session, you will learn
Alex, do you want me to play this video? Okay, I can't hear. Yeah, there you go.
Dallas video tutorial, how to create an activity. In this session, you will learn what is an activity, how to create an activity in Salus, our safety management software. An activity is an off-campus field trip or an event that can take place on or off campus and is attended by a combination of staff, students, and external stakeholders. UNSW has a duty of care to assess the risk associated with activities and ensure they are conducted safely. In Salus, activities can either be a one-off or can have multiple occurrences and are used to identify who is attending the activity and affirm all participants have returned safely. From the Salus homepage, click Create a New Activity. Enter a name for this activity in the Activity Title field. Click the folder icon to select the faculty or division for this activity. Click the radio button to select your faculty or division, then click OK. Write a detailed description for this activity to help others understand what's involved. Under Activity Categories, click Selection List. Search keywords to find an activity category. Click the radio button and select OK. Under Key Participants, click Add New. Click the folder icon to select the name of the activity leader. Enter their name in the search field, then press Enter. Click the radio button to select, then click OK. Add their phone number and their role on the activity. Then click OK. Now add any specialist activity leaders. Click Add New. Click the folder icon to search for the name. Don't forget to press Enter when the field is blue. Click the radio button to select, then click OK. If you know it, add the phone number of the contact. Then state their role in the activity and click OK. Repeat the same steps as previously shown to add the final activity team member. Click the calendar icon to select the activity start date. Choose the beginning of the current study year. Now choose the end date for the activity. If this is a multi-occurrence activity, choose an end date 3 years in the future. Click Selection List under Risk Management Forms. Search keywords for related RMFs, or search on the RMF number if known. Highlight the checkbox to select the RMF, then click OK. Under Safe Work Procedures, click Selection List. Search keywords for related SWPs. Highlight the checkbox to select, then click OK. Click the disk icon at the bottom right corner to save this activity header.
Can you guys hear me? Yep. I love technological problems. So what we'll do is we'll go through that process in the live site, in the testing site now, so that you can see how we move our way through it. So we've got a couple of ways in which we can access activities. So if you've already got activities drafted, you can go through your current activities. You can click and create a new one, and that will take you straight through, or also through workspaces. Sorry, it's just a little bit sensitive. There's also activities there. So if I was to click that, it's going to give me a list of either my activities, or I can go to all activities across the university once the system decides to think, and I'll be able to see, because I am in the test environment, some existing activities. In this scenario, we're going to create a new one, so I'm going to go new. I'm going to go and track bandicoots. That's what we'll do for today. So map bandicoots in 8 forest X, Y, Z. This should always be your name. Currently, I'm in the test environment, so my name is a little bit quirky. Your activity number will pop up once you save it, so don't be concerned if you've got a grey box there. This is how you can select where you sit in the organisation. You will find that in the live environment there are more pull downs than what you'll see here. But in this particular environment, we'll go engineering, and I'm going to, who shall I select today? We've done this in a while. Spree's never going to go and collect bandicoots, but we're going to say that the photovoltaic group are going to go and collect some bandicoots. So you can see that you can drill down significantly, but you must always make sure that you've got your radio button here selected, otherwise it's not going to save you in the system. Okay. Your activity description can be, I'm just going to show you, it can be quite detailed. So my advice is, if this is a new activity, develop this in Word and you'll be able to cut and paste it over easier, and your formatting will be able to be held that way. So in regards to the type of activity we do, we're going into select an activity category. There's a couple of ways here. You can just scroll up or down. You can move backwards and forwards depending on how many options there are. And it is slightly different in the live environment in that this will develop over time as well. So at the moment, we've got 16 records in here. It is test, or we can put in a what's one that's just out of here, vehicle. We can search, making sure that we use a little magnifying glass. And then we will be able to use, again, I don't know why there's two of them, radio button. You'll start to see that now we're starting to get to the point where we need to work out, does our activity require a specialist sign off? In this particular situation, it's no. But if I put in drones, go back into the full list again, and you will see here with drones, diving and boating, you will start to get some specialist approvers, because they might require, with the site observation one, I'm just getting some further information as to what are the categories for that one. I thought it was a bees one, and it turns out it's not bees who have actually put that into the system. So just need to work out what are the criteria for that. But as you can see, some of the other activities such as boating, diving, or drones, or even snorkeling, there may be additional factors involved in the person doing that activity. You may need REX approval, you may need a different type of license, you may need a permit, you may have additional specialist equipment, that we want to make sure that those people doing those activities are actually compliant, number one, but they're also suitable in doing the activity. We don't want to just send the people out going diving, there you go, you've never dived before. We want to make sure that the diving specialist has signed off on this document. Excuse me. But as we're going to go and play with some bandicoots, I'm just going to pick remote fieldwork in this particular situation. But I can also go in and say, well, I also need a vehicle and I need a trailer. So you don't have to, where did it go? Yeah. You don't have to just have one category, you can have multiple. And if it turns out that in the end, you don't need the trailer because you don't, it turns out you don't need to take a whole bunch of equipment, you can remove it by just clicking the square button and then go in and add another one if you need to. Now we can move on to, excuse me. If you ever need clarification of what all these little bits are, you can always touch the I button and it will give you further information as you go. So this is showing that it's not on campus, so it is grayed out. We now want to start adding people to the activity. And if they are staff or student, we should be able to pull them up in the system. Again, with any of these the systems modules in the system, you can either do it by ZID, you can do it by last name, or you can do it by first name, or even if you just want to check in a particular division or school who it is, who's available, you can also do that as well. So in this situation, I'm going to scroll down and pick Julia. she not come up? Have I spelled her name incorrectly? Oh, because I put it in the surname, not the first name. My apologies, everybody. There she is. Okay. As we know that she's going to be going out in the field work, we really should have a contact number for her at any time, just to make sure that we can either check on her, or if we know of a particular environment that she's going into that an additional concern has popped up. So she might be going into the state forest, and we now since heard that there's a fire going on, and we want to let her know. Having a contact number is very important. Now, different people have different roles, depending on what you're going for. They may, in this particular thing, Julia is going to be the team leader, so that we know that she's going to look after those activities while she's out there. We may also know that Julia has a medical condition, or she's only going to be there if we're going on a 3-day activity. She's only going out for 2 days of that activity, and then the team leader will roll. This little bit of this additional information is just a free text field that, again, you can add in as much as you need to, but we might just say allergic to bees. And then that's kept on the file associated with Julia. Okay. So that we're going to go out in this particular scenario, we're only going to do a single off occurrence. I'm only going to go out and select, actually I'm going to go in and add another person, because I should actually include myself. I don't think I can. I'm just going to be, because my profile is a little bit, that one, put in this as a participant. Okay, and we will add in just 2 more. Again, I'm going to search on ZID this time. 117, search student. Okay. Mobile number. Participant. Oh, excuse me, all my typos as we go here today. All right, great. So we know that 3 people are going out on this activity. Excuse me. And I'm going to do this activity next week, and they're going out for a couple of days. So it's going to start on the 14th. And then they're also coming back on Saturday. So they're going for the 3 days. Okay. I'm just going to save this right now, just to make sure our data doesn't go anywhere. Because we've saved it, you'll also see there's a couple of extra tabs at the top, but also we now can start searching for the risk management forms and SWPs. I'm going to go into the system. You can either search on the RMF that you know. You may know its title, or you may just want to, you're not 100% sure, and you can search on the school. Again, this is a test environment, so please note that the RMFs I'm going to select right now aren't necessarily applicable to field trips with bandicoots. I'm just going to be time effective here. Well, let's see if there's anything in the system. So this is an RMF that I did previously. It is current and it is open. Okay. So I have an SWP that I've also written. Again, I don't know what its number is. There we go. Always like it when a plan comes together. So again, you can go in and select as many as you need to for your risk management forms. And again, the same for your safe work procedures. So now that we've put those in, Let me save it again. And unfortunately, the risk ranking hasn't worked yet, so we haven't clicked that in yet. What will happen in the coming months is that this will then calculate based off the hazards that are in these two documents and give us an overall ranking. This is a known issue in the system at the moment. Okay. And just come back to here is on how to create an occurrence. So we know that our activity is going to, so in this particular situation, I told you it was only going to go for 3 days, but it turns out I'm going to go and do it now, and then I'm going to go and do it again in 3 months because I want to go out and check how my little bandicoots are going. Let's see if I can successfully get this to work, knowing that Kristen was able to do it earlier. I'm going to have to stop sharing my screen and share it with sound. So please bear with me. Hopefully it won't crash everything again. In full screen.
Welcome to this Salus
Can we
video
hear it?
tutorial,
Can anybody
how
else
to
hear it?
create an activity occurrence.
Yep, all good, Alex.
In this session,
Thank you,
you will
Paul.
learn how to create an occurrence of an activity, how to add participants to an occurrence, how to create actions for an occurrence, how to submit an activity occurrence for approval. An occurrence is the second part of an activity notification in Salus. It is used to advise the dates of the activity and list the participants in the activity. It includes an action feature and provides a checklist for preparation activities to complete before submitting the occurrence for approval. From the home page in Salus, click Workspaces in the left sidebar. Hover over Activity Management, then click Activities. Click the activity number for the activity you wish to add an occurrence to. Review the activity header, then click on the Activity Occurrences tab. Highlight the checkbox next to Add New Occurrence. Click the right calendar icon to select the start date. Click the right calendar icon under Occurrence End Date to select the correct end date. Click Save. Now reopen the occurrence by clicking on the date. Click on the clock icon to enter the start time for this occurrence using 24-hour format. Click on the clock icon under End Time to enter the end time in 24-hour format. Check the detailed description and add any extra information if necessary. Under Locations, click Selection List. Scroll down to find the activity occurrence location. If it is off-campus, select off-campus. Enter the address of the activity location in the address field on the map. When the address appears, click the map to drop the pin. Under Required Specialist Approvals, click the Activity Category link. Click the folder icon and search for the name of the specialist approver. Click the radio button when their name appears, then click OK. Click OK again. Enter the full itinerary in the itinerary field. It helps to prepare this in a Word document first, then copy and paste it into this field. Enter the emergency plan details for this occurrence. Again, if this is a detailed plan, it helps to prepare this in Word, then copy and paste this into this field. Click the disk icon to save. Now click OK. Click the Participant Contacts Page tab. Review the list of activity leaders and adjust if this has changed. Click Add New to add additional participants. Click the folder icon to open the person list. Enter Student in the Position Title search field and press Enter. Select the relevant student for this occurrence. You can only choose one participant at a time. Enter the participant's mobile phone number. Enter their role on the activity. Click OK to add them to the occurrence list. Repeat these steps for each activity participant. If external participants are attending the occurrence, click Add New under External Participants. Enter the external participant's name in the Name field. This is a free text field. Enter their email address in the Email field. Enter their phone number in the Mobile Phone Number field. Now state their role in the activity occurrence. Then click OK. It is mandatory to include the name of the callback person for this occurrence. Ensure you include their mobile phone number and note any additional information. Click the disk icon to save. Now click OK. Click the occurrence date to open the record again. Click the Actions and Attachments tab. Click Add New under Actions. Enter a title for the action. Now enter a detailed description for this action. Click the calendar icon under Due Date and select the date the action must be completed by. Click the folder icon under Assigned To and search for the name of the person who must complete this action. Under Have you informed this person, click Yes or No. Set the action priority. Under Control Type, click Control Library. Search keywords in the title field to find the right control for this action. Click the radio button to select the control. Then click OK. Click OK to close this screen. Click the Submission tab. Highlight the Submit for Approval checkbox. Click the drop-down arrow. Ensure you have completed all tasks on the checklist before you mark them as complete. You must mark everything as yes before your occurrence can be submitted for approval. Click OK. Click the disk icon to save. Click Close to exit this occurrence.
Okay, great. All right, let's just stop that. So rather than going, well, actually, no, I know it's 167. Let's close out of that, just like I did in the video. Go home. Okay, I'm going to go to Activities. I've come back. I need to do some more work into it.
Alex, there's a question regarding how to add 300 plus students if it is in a class.
This is
As
a
participants.
concern. This has been raised as a concern. At this stage, we do not have an alternative.
So
we
can we as a
one at a time.
Can we, as a solution for now, since that request has not pushed through, put it as an attachment?
Well, let's have a look when we get to the participant component. And I do acknowledge that 300 students in one time is going to be complex. So let's have a look at it when we get to the actual participant component, see if we can attach in a document on that side. Thanks for that. I'm just looking at the rest of our field trips to various locations some of the time. How does it work when we choose a spot or just choose one? Yes, ACES did allow for the self-enroll, but this one doesn't at this stage. So we'll go through it. Here's my activity. Okay, we are at the occurrence component. We now want to add a new occurrence. So I've actually put here in my dates, just to refresh everybody. We're doing it over 3 days. I'm now going to do what I'm going to do on the 14th. Oops, sorry, come back, find my date. And it'll finish on the 14th. Let me just save that. Okay, here is now my occurrence, and we can go in and attach all the details to it. So I'm going to go in at 7 a.m. and I'm going to be back off the field by 3 p.m. Okay, my description is still the same. The question about various locations, you can add more than one location at a time. We just need to put in off campus. Oh no, sorry, I can't. I was thinking you can if you're on campus, but you can't. Cancel that. Just trying to think of a state forest. Ringo. Okay, will do. And we're going to just move the marker around. Why is it not moving? Let me just scroll in for a second. And if I click there, no, I don't like that one. I'll click it there. And again, click, and I can set my marker here. So yes, the question that was raised about multiple locations, we can't do it in multiple locations on a day at this stage. I'll take that note on board though, and ask the question of, can we have a look at that? On an occurrence. Okay. We don't actually have any specialist activities in this particular occurrence. What we might do is we'll go back and adjust it so that you can see what it looks like in the system. As suggested in the video, you want a full itinerary that maps out where you're going to do, what you're going to do, how you're going to get to it. And again, it is multiple lines, and you do have quite a fair bit of space to be able to add in your free text into that. As with the video, the emergency plan did sort of indicate what to include in emergency situations. So they are going to be completely dependent on what activity you're running. So whether you're on the water or versus the land, it's going to be quite flexible. Please make sure that you do have a detailed emergency plan, not just call 000. You may need to look at your participants to see if you need to cater your emergency plan for somebody who may have a medical condition at the time. So again, just to give you an idea, it is quite a large space that you can outline your emergency plan for. Go back in. We can now add our participants. Let's see if we can add in any attachments here. No, we can't add an attachment. So that is going to be complex at the moment for the 300 student-based classes.
There is an attachment on the next tab though.
On the
In
next
the
one,
action.
yes,
Yep.
in here. So you can add it in as an attachment there. So because we don't have any free text in this particular page, you will, you kind of a note here to say, please see attachment. Or if you're going to attach a spreadsheet or something like that, there's no free text in this particular component. As the video said, you can add more in here if you need to. You can delete people out of it. You also need to consider things like, do you need first aiders? Do you have specialist activities where you may need, as the video indicated, a dive captain or some specialist piece of equipment with drones? It may be the drone licensed person, those kinds of things. So please ensure that your participant list, whether it be in an attachment or in this particular part of the system, has those different levels of activities that need to be covered, different titles. If you've got it in the externals, it's all free text. Again, you can put in, go that way. Mobile numbers, these are not compulsory. The only one that is, we might say the external person is the first aider, but you didn't see me say that. And they all may also be someone who has a particular license or permit for the activity that they were doing. I do believe that Manly Vale sometimes hires boat people rather than having your own boats, and you may need to put in the details there of say the I don't want to say the captain, but the boat driver for you. You can include that they've got their license and things like that there if you need to. So you do have the opportunity to attach relevant details depending on what the person's role is in that activity. You always need, sorry, it's free texting me. You always need a callback person. So you always need somebody back separate to the activity who will know what to do when things don't go quite well. So it might be that there's been a medical incident, or you've been delayed coming back, or it's gone really, really wrong and now there's an emergency situation. You always need to have a callback person who knows what to do within the school level and who to contact within the school to say that this situation's going on. Okay. I'm going to stick Lani's name in here. My typing is not working today.
Just a question about the callback person.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that it needs to be someone who's not going on the activity, is that right? And
yes.
someone who then knows about the activity.
Yes.
And someone who can help in some way. So
yes.
Has that got to be someone inside the school, or can it be?
So Peter, as a default, our what's this, callback persons are our TSAs. So especially for big groups, all the when it was still in SafeSys, we give the participant information sheet to the TSAs so that they are the callback persons.
DSEs.
The teaching, our teaching people. So Ellie and Emma.
Oh, okay. So they would be our default.
Yes, they are the default. You can also select others, not necessarily them. So for example, in Manly Vale, it normally is Grace or Katie. But you can also select somebody, but that is not within the group. So who didn't go to the field trip or the field work.
Okay. So then we just tell the DSE that we choose what we're doing. Is that right? Or
That's correct. If it's a big group, if it's a small group, for example, and it's just your supervisor is going to be staying behind. Sometimes the team leader just selects the supervisor as their callback person.
okay. Okay.
So we can, I'll just go back into here and make sure that we've got any, as we've sort of discussed, in the meantime, if you are going to have 300 students and it's going to be complex, add your spreadsheet into here. Sorry, not the action as an attachment. If you know that there's something that needs to be serviced or you need to ensure that is done prior to the activity, then you could add an action here. As we've seen in the video, but I would say it's probably more of a safety sphere rather than the example that's given in the video. But this will get you by at the moment in the attachment component. Okay. If you want to add more occurrences, it's exactly the same process. So I said we were going out on the 14th. We're going to do the same thing out on, out on the 15th. Save it. And then you'll see it. So if you know that you're going to do this activity 4 times over a year, you can set the one activity document and then go in and say, I'm going to do this in June, September, November, and December. And you just set your dates this way. You may, at any point, you may not have your participants. So I may not have my participants ready yet for this activity, and I'm not 100% sure based on the time. You can come backwards and forwards in these. So it's quite flexible at this stage. So we've gone through, I haven't changed any documents at that point. We don't have any actions, but if you did, that's where they would be sitting. And hang on, I do need to go into this one to submit it. So for each event that we have, sorry, for each occurrence, we have to submit to say that it's going to go. I'm going to submit for approval, and that's going to trigger my checklist. So you go through the checklist to say, have I done all this? So it's pre-trip approval. Do I have all the medical details as required? So these are where you can attach those bits of information. So you can attach anything out of my lot at the moment. You can also add in comments here if you need to. And so it's held with Lani. I'm only picking on Lani because she's here in the call. Or I can add new actions because I may need to assign it to somebody to say, do this. Make sure you get your approval and things like that. Discard, close. So there are all these different options that you can do here. You've got to do your safety briefing. You've got to make sure all your licenses and permits are correct. Again, you attach all your licenses and permits into this document so that it's all held in the one spot. If you're going overseas, please make sure that you go through the travel portal as well. You can't have any of these. You can have them as NA, but you can't have them as no. You must pass it for it to go to approval. So if you're not going overseas, which we're not doing with our bandicoots, we'll just put in an NA. Okay, I'd like to submit for approval. Okay, and it's now gone for approval. All right, let's check. There, I think there's a closeout video as well. No, there isn't. Okay. There is supposed to be a video on how to close out. So you've gone out and you've done your activity and you've come back and you need to make sure that all the occurrences have been completed before you close out your activity. So I need to make sure that my 2, 3, 5 events have happened. So let me just, I'm going to have to do some dodgies here so that we can get it through. Okay. I actually haven't submitted that one for approval. Submit for approval. I must go through my checklist. That one's done. Okay. No. All right, it's gone for approval. Oh, sorry, close out. Complete all occurrences. Why have I not doing it for me today? Oh, something's flagged in there because it's red. It's telling me something's not quite right. What have I missed? Ah, I haven't entered my callback person. Rank. Blah. Okay. Now will it let me close it out? No, it won't. All right. Something's not quite working in the system. It may be a bit of a bug. The next question is, what about external visitors? We have 1,000 students coming for engineering info days. I, again, would be just putting them in as part of your attachments. You can add multiple documents into attachments and just have them as a spreadsheet at this point, Kurt. And that will get you through until the system has generated a way of allowing us to bulk enroll. At the moment, we can't bulk enroll. I think we've got 20 minutes left of the session. Has anybody got any other questions or concerns, issues?
Just one question, Alex. Colleague yesterday was asking me about the time for review, and it had an option for up to 5 years. Is that intentional, or is that something we should avoid, having too long a period?
I personally, I don't think we should have 5 years because too much can change in 5 years.
Yeah, I thought that'd be the case.
I would like to see any research that started 5 years ago that is close to what it is when they review it 5 years later. The ability of being in this system is that you can come in and tweak it at any point, and that's what you should be doing when your research is evolving. You should be coming in and actually doing those adjustments to make sure that you do have it as accurate as possible. But I wouldn't go any more than 3. Yeah, 5 years is there, but 3 is better.
Yep, I thought that was probably the case.
Yep. Any other questions? We can touch on anything in the system at the moment except competencies and equipment, because we haven't done sessions with that for you yet. But if you do have other questions while we've got everybody here, if you've got questions about incidents or hazards or SWPs and RMS, please feel free to ask them now. Okay. I will put into the chat the links to the how-to guides and the videos. Those videos are evolving over time. So if you did watch the video maybe a month ago, feel free to touch base on it again. We are fine-tuning the system as we go. One of the things that we do need support from you all is that this is an evolving system at the moment. We and Lani will know, we had a conversation about this morning, that we are going to need to be reliant on you all to help us build the system to have the right knowledge in it. We are not the experts or the local people who are doing the activities day after day after day. That we need your assistance to help us put content into the system and make it more robust. So if you are having troubles with your hazards at the moment because they're not in the system, please work with us to get them in the system. So whether if it's a one-off, lodge it as a one-off hazard, or if you've got multiple of them, talk with Lani and get us to put in a bulk hazard update for you, which will help with the controls situation. It is evolving. We're a month in for us, and it is quite time consuming getting that data in there, but we need your knowledge. We need you to assist us to get it right. And if you do see a control in there, and again, Lani and I were talking about some quirky ones this morning, there is some content in there that's not quite right that needs to be fine-tuned. So again, we need your assistance to help us build this system to be robust and to what you are going to use as time goes on. We do know that it does need to be fine-tuned, particularly in things like the good question that came up about, can we put in more than one location in an occurrence? And we are aware of the issues of trying to enroll 1,000 students or 400 students into a situation. So we are still building as we go. So what you're seeing as a system as today will be quite different in a couple of months moving forward. So if you could, we know the workload is high at the moment. We know that the building of the system is going to take time, but we appreciate the efforts that you guys are putting into it as well. No other questions or comments, and I'll give you quarter of an hour back every day. Oh, Ian, no? No. All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Alex.
Okay. Thanks very
Thank
much.
you,
Thanks for
Alex.
tolerating with my technical issues.
I might apologise. I was eating an apple and I realised that my microphone was on. No one said anything. So either it wasn't picked up or everyone was very tolerant. So my apologies for that.
I didn't hear it, Paul. I was too busy
Excellent.
fighting with my phone versus computer versus. I've got three screens
we
and
didn't
I'm
hear it.
working right now.
Oh, that's good to know. These mics are obviously very good at filtering out sound.
We didn't hear it, but was it nice?
It was very crisp. It would have been very noisy.
Okay, crunchy.
As long as you enjoyed it, that was the main thing, Paul.
I just about finished it when I realised my mic was still on. Mortified.
All right.
Anyway,
Thanks,
thank you.
everybody.
Thanks, Alex. Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.